This is the official post-event press conference for EFC 117, live from the World Sports Betting Arena, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Welcome to the EFC 117 post-event press conference. Man, we didn't start off strong, but we finished that card off so incredibly. That was one of the best main cards I've seen this year, and that fight with Willie and Kagelo was just exceptional. I'm going to unpack the performance bonuses and the fights of the night. We'll start off with, I think, let's say this. Almost everybody on the main card got a bonus. Tabatso Molele gets a performance bonus. Incredible fight. I'll be honest, man. Salah took that fight at short notice. So he came in he had less than a week to prepare, and you could see it. But take nothing away from Tabatso. He put on an absolute war. And both of those guys, if we didn't have the fights that we had, I think they would have won fight of the night because they left it all in there. I just want to give a special shout out to Tsepo Majuba. Even though he didn't win the fight, that Muay Thai fight was a masterclass. Oh, he had put on a Muay Thai masterclass, and I loved watching every minute of it. And Shannon, man, he pulled it out the bag and turned it around for himself. Well done. You're going to get a bonus, Shannon. Rebecca Amongi, man, wow. I think we should just give you a bonus for celebrating. I mean, you celebrate harder than anybody I've ever seen, girl. That was incredible. Great fight. You were very physical, loved watching you. Imka, man, you are too tough for your own good. That woman is so tough. She's 47 years old and went toe-to-toe. I mean, put on a hell of a fight. So, to recap, Molele gets a bonus, Shannon gets a bonus, Rebecca gets a bonus. Fight of the night has got to go to Kagelo Machela and Willie van Rooyen. And so much so that I think what we're going to do is, and I was speaking to Cairo about this with his suggestion, so you can thank him, we're going to give you guys a double bonus. So we're going to pay you double of what you earn for a bonus. And that's really it, guys. I'm going to open up to media. Let's hear what you got to ask.
Graham, you said, Graham? Graham, you said in the press conference that this is a real sleeper card, and that this main card was one of the most sensational ones of the entire year. We've talked about it again and again. The quality of the talent here, fighters coming in at last-minute replacements and putting on absolute wars, just goes to show that the EFC is one of the greatest promotions in the Southern Hemisphere.
Thank you for that. I have to agree. I was quite worried, I'll be honest with you, and I said it a couple of times. You know, we had to scramble to put fights together. And if I look at it now, the way that preliminary card took place, the first three fights, you know, hard to judge. You know, nothing really happened. Amisi and Hloka, good fight. And Hloka's an absolute rising star himself. I mean, you know, if he's looking at guys like Willie, that's his path. He needs to get on the main card. He needs to get some big fights under his belt. And I think Amisi's a big name to take on, so he did incredibly well. And I liked the fight, Nkana and Glover. I thought there was a real banger of a fight. I mean, up until that stage, I said to Ash, I said, that just might be fight of the night, and I hope it gets better. And then all of a sudden, the main card just exploded. So yeah, I agree. Sleeper card, incredible night. Best fight we've seen of 2024. Yeah?
So the next question is for Willie the White Lion.
So we'll do questions for me now, okay, and then we'll bring up the athletes one by one, okay?
Okay, so...
What's up, Graham? So you had recently announced in terms of like, for the flyweight bouts, that the Black Panther and Trapdoor Spider are up next. So I want to know in terms of like what's happening with Tumelo, because that's what you had announced before that.
Yeah, so Tumelo was meant to be a contender, and he still is a contender in my eyes. He went overseas, he lost a fight there, and when he came back here, we pitched a fight for him to contend against Tumelo Terence Balelo, and what had happened was he got injured. So he is still very much in the discussion, but there's so many guys making their name and fighting and active that we have to go with the guys that are in front of us and putting on great fights. And I think what we've done is we offered Terence and the Trapdoor Spider, a Machavani, an opportunity to fight. And T can't take it now. He says that he's got some stuff he's got to sort out, which means we need to find something for Trapdoor, which I'm keen to do. And we're actually, just while I'm on that, what we're going to do is we're going to headline the next fight card. We may put a title fight on it. We are discussing a interim featherweight title fight between Rudy Roots, who's ready to agree to fight whoever the hell I put in front of him, and against a couple. We've offered it out to the top contenders there at featherweight. So we're going to lock. We've offered it to Simba. Simba wants to go down to bantamweight. Not too sure what the thinking is there, but that's what he wants to do. We've offered it out to Ken Sikiletu, which will make a hell of a fight. And if he doesn't want to take it, we might just take the fight that we've already done between Billy Oosthuizen apart and Ayanda Zwane and give the opportunity to Ayanda, because he's calling him out all day. And Roots and Ayanda Zwane would make a hell of an interim featherweight title fight, because Iga wants to focus on defending his lightweight title at the end of the year against Chilumba Mikishi.
So with that being said, is it a matter of like with now, because you had said for yourself with your own words, you had kept Black Panther and Tumelo, that you want to have them
be the next fight, yeah?
Main event, the next bout. So is it a matter of like now we're trying to?
So the
next main card, or
no.
That's locked in?
So I'm pretty confident that if we can't secure a interim flyweight title, Zulu's fighting now in Ryzen. We'll see how that goes. We're sharing him. You know, that's the situation where he's gone over there to compete. He's still the flyweight champion. I still want that story to be concluded. I think Terence Balelo and Zulu Boy is the fight. If the UFC are ever going to look at Terence, they're going to look at him under the eyes of, did you beat Zulu Boy? And he's got to unify that title. And I think that's what we want to see in that flyweight division. So, look, Machavani is right there, but he just needs to hang on a little bit longer.
Yeah, Graham, I got two questions. My first question is, your job is very difficult as a promoter and someone who puts on fights. But for the most part, every time you've had to plug gaps, there's always been fighters willing to step up and take fights and fight great fights as well. So I just want a couple of words from you on the roster that you have. Those that are willing to step up have stepped up and performed really well.
You know, I really want to, that's a good point, and thank you for raising that. We have such an incredible roster, and I want to thank every single one of the guys here, because I think that majority of the fights that we had tonight, there was some shakiness in whether they'd take place or not, and a lot of step-ups. And it is testament to a large roster and a very active roster that they can get involved. I also must say that, guys, you know, we talk about Drikkers all the time, but I don't think there was ever a time, and there's a lot of guys here. Iga Cabeza is one of these guys. Rudy Roots is one of these guys. I can name them, right? They are guys that never, ever, ever refuse fights. Doesn't matter the turnaround. You can't have it in your head that, oh, I need a 6-week camp, I need an 8-week camp. That's a ritual. You're creating a ritual out of your fighting world. You need to be able to step up at a week's notice. That's the reality of it. If the Contender Series phoned you and said, hey, next week I've got a gap for you, what are you going to do? I need a 6-week camp. You've got to step in there. Be active. And that's what the UFC are looking for. That's what any great promotion wants. Drikkers did it. He actually pushed me all the time to put him in fights that I thought he was mad for taking. The Rafael Haracek fight, he took that at a week's notice. Jose De Rocha, these guys had double his record, and he just took all of them with a smile, and that's why he is where he is, because he doesn't shy away from getting in the hexagon. And I think that we've got a roster of athletes like that.
And then lastly, I want to speak to you about Faiz Jacobs. He's someone who I watched win his belt at Sun Arena a couple of years ago. It must be nice for you as a promoter when you get to see a guy as a young talent and then watch him grow in your promotion and mature as he did today. I mean, I've been watching Faiz a long time, and I think that was the most mature performance we've seen from him since he entered the Hexagon.
I have personally walked an incredible journey with Faiz. I think he's an absolute G. The fact that I remember watching him at Sun City, and I had a holy shit moment. I was like, this kid is wild and fun, and I can't wait to see his career unfold. We co-manage him, which means that in our world, we want to get him to the space where he can fight for a title, he can defend his title and get into the UFC. That guy's an absolute legend, and he puts his heart and soul into this business and into the sport. It's been an incredible journey with him. We're gonna start passing over to athletes. Let's get the athletes on stage. So, who are we gonna start off with?
Billy.
Tsepo. No, Tabatso.
Oh my God.
Molele. You can't
I
hear.
have to think about my question now. Shit.
Hi, Tabato. Thank you so much for the amazing fight. How was that fight? You took that fight at short notice, that they said, no, your opponent took it at short notice, but both of you brought it to the table for this fight. How was it in that fight, and how did you feel in that fight?
The fight, first of all, you know, me and Platches, we have history. We actually friends. So after when Vio Jula pulled out and they said Platches, I was surprised. I was like, whoa, am I gonna really face my friend in the hex? But my coaches told me that it's not about friendship. When you're in the cage, like we leave everything behind and we focus on the goal. So I was mentally ready before I knew that I'm gonna face Platches. I was prepared for the fight. So yeah, I was not in fear. I just knew that I'm gonna conquer and I'm gonna fight him. Yes, I was like absolutely on the game plan and sharp. Yeah.
Sure, my king. So with Blakey's obviously being a top 5 contender, was it not a matter of you have to step up to the plate, knowing that he's obviously been up there and like he's fought the best of the best? Was that not a challenge for you?
No, it was not a challenge for me because Platches, I think he forgot about his name. He forgot who he is in the EFC because Platches has a big name. So he forgot the value of his name. So he just took a fight as in like, let me just go and fight, you know. But he didn't have an idea who's going to face. Because me, I'm still young and fresh, and like I'm hungry, and I don't want anything to stop me on my way. So Platches, yes, we are friends, but I didn't care of his name or who he is, you know. So yeah, this is the sport, this is the game. You have to be prepared all the time. Sure.
Tabatso, question right here. You had a lot of support from Mamelodi Warriors today, and can you just tell us about like how that felt for you and what exactly it means for you to have that much support from your team?
Yo, about that. Today it was actually my first fight, having such a crowd, main event. I always wanted that crowd to push me abroad, you know, because like every time in the Hex I feel limited when you don't have support. So previous fights, previous losses, it was just a matter of support. So it is very important to have such a great crowd to push you even in your limit, you know. So Mamelodi Warriors, my community, everybody that was there for me, I'm really honored and I'm grateful for them. Yes. Sure. Sure. That's it.
My first question was for Billy and I missed it. Thank you so much.
fight of the night. Hi, Billy. You're out here kicking in the head. So tonight we saw the White Lion roar, and I said this to Johannesburg earlier, I didn't know that he hit so hard. How was it taking those shots, and how was that knockdown that he scored on you in, I think, the second round? And how did you recover from that to come back and get the win?
So yeah, no, definitely he hits it's like a truck. No, the thing is, I think what pulled me through was the heart and my motivation to never give up. It's one of the mottos, I'd rather die in that cage than give up. And yeah, the fitness as well, I think, pulled through because when he landed the shot, as soon as I hit the ground, I was already back, recovered. So yeah, no, I think that's what pulled me through.
Willie, just in terms of the fight, that felt like a fight that almost make it man, you know, in terms of he took you to many places and really tested you. While you were in there, what was your experience of being in there? And ultimately, when you came out of it, how do you feel now as a fighter? I mean, it's very shortly after the fact, but do you already feel like that's the type of fight that helps you grow as a fighter going forward?
Yes, definitely. What helped with this fight was just before we went into the cage, my coach told me something. He said to take the guy to deep waters and then you will see who you really are. And I think that's what helped. That was very great advice. And to take the fight everywhere, test the waters. Where are you stronger? Where am I stronger? And yeah, on the second round when I took him down for the takedown, we realized, no, I'm stronger on the ground, and that's why we aim to get the takedown and get position to get the ground and pound and all that stuff. So yeah.
Hello, question right here. Obviously, you know, not the decision that you were hoping to get right there, but you put on quite an amazing fight. So can you just tell us how you're feeling right now?
Right now I'm feeling good. Yeah, that's all I can say about the fight.
My king, obviously now with the rankings that you know that came out, where do you see yourself now rebuilding from this loss?
I can hear you. You saying?
From the rankings that came out from the EFC, you know? So like now you obviously took on an opponent, and like where do you see yourself rebuilding from this loss?
I'll see myself coming back strong. Yeah, I won't give up. Yeah, that's all I can say.
What's up?
Shannon Fantonda, you haven't been active in the EFC, and this is the first time that we saw you. The last time that we saw you was supposed to be against Bad News. So what's this fight? What does this fight mean for you as coming back to the EFC?
Yeah, well, listen, bro, you're only as good as your last one. I stacked the deck against myself going to Thailand, showing up 48 hours before the fights I had. My son had a national baseball tournament, so I made the call to not miss it, show up late in Thailand. Obviously, it was a tough one. And yes, man, just need to get back into with a good team, need a good system around me. So yeah, man, it was a good fight. That's all I can say.
Shannon, right here. So you've now had international experience, like you said, fighting out in Thailand and then coming back to South Africa to fight in the EFC. How is the transition, fighting internationally, then coming back and fighting locally, as you just mentioned, is difficult. How's that been for you?
Well, listen, bro, you learn from it. I mean, from the flights, the plus 25 hours travel all the way to Asia, you know what I'm saying? The layovers, the way it affects you, the water that you hold, the whole different climate. It's just the food, the culture shock. So think twice before you just go, man. I went alone, no coaches, no team. Believed in myself. So you know what? It was a good learning experience. But you want to keep your career clean. You want as minimal losses as possible, right? You want to make it big time. So yeah, learning experience for me.
Shannon, lastly, you spoke about almost having like one coach in there, a one-man army is what you actually said as you left the Hex. I just want to get a sense of where you are right now in your career and in terms of how you plan on rebuilding that team around you to make sure that Shannon Fintona can compete again for EFC Gold and maybe something beyond that.
Yeah, you know what? That's the goal. You're not just fighting here, you need to fight to become the champ. So I need to stop trying to be the hero and try and do it myself. Take a step back, join a great team, a good team, and rise to the top like I know where I should be. So.
Any ideas of a team that you're looking at right now or that you're potentially thinking about joining?
You know what? Apex here in Sandton, Boyd's gym, really good gym. So maybe I must just make that commitment and get there. Sharp, thanks guys.
Rebecca. Rebecca, it's so good to see you here. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, you are the first Ugandan fighter in the EFC. How does that feel for you?
So great. I'm very, very happy to be here, to be the first Ugandans to be here. Yeah?
Rebecca, question for you. How do you feel after fighting such a formidable opponent, and do you feel like she's earned respect from you? You've earned respect in her books, and has she earned respect in your books also?
You mean after fighting her, how I feel? Yeah, I feel so great. I was feeling so happy because I never expected this. You know, to be in this EFC wasn't easy. So my coming, I was like, I don't know what I will do. Yeah. So after the win, I never expected, I never expected that. But I came here when I'm ready. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. All right.
Vince, first and foremost, commiserations. I know you were expecting the fight to go a different way. I saw you walking up the stairs and I was looking at your left leg, I believe, very closely because Faiz landed a couple of good leg kicks from what we could see. Give us a sense of how you're doing health-wise. Give us a health check. How's your leg? And ultimately reflect for us on your performance in the Hex tonight.
My leg feels really good. There's nothing wrong with it that much. So regarding the fight, it sucks that I lost. But anyway, I'm going to come back stronger. I would like to have another opportunity to fight at this weight category because I feel like it's the one for me. So especially for the guys that at this weight category, they're going to have a really problem because the dog is here.
So you want to come back at this weight, and we've seen you fighting at multiple weights, feather, light, and now bantam. Of those three weight classes, which one do you want to go for in terms of a title run?
I'm going to still continue at this one, at this bantam weight category. I'm going to still keep on it. I would like to have another fight in December, if that's the case.
Mr. Bembe, it always seems like you're just between trying to break through to the elite and below. What do you think would be the most efficient strategy for you to break through into the elites, so that you could be a title contender, not a title contender, but a title holder, and so that you can defend your title? What do you think is the step that you need to take in order to be like one of the elites, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. The step that I need to take is that I need to get back stronger and smash all those who are put in front of me. Is that all?
Woo, let's do this.
First question for Faiz. Did you anticipate this being a hard-fought fight against Bembe? I mean, like, I know you had your fight camp being drilled in, but like, did you anticipate this type of fight against him? And also,
talking about with the left hand, and then 5 weeks out, injure the shoulder. 3 weeks out, tear my LCL. 3 weeks out, I could not move left to right. I could only move forward and backwards. So slowly but surely build the mobility back, learn to squat. It was like learning to walk during this camp. So I had very limited training, I had very limited sparring, I had very limited grappling, and this was just a mental battle for me to come here and show up. My strength was maybe my hips wasn't giving the way it usually gives, but everything considered, this is what champions are made of. Growth comes through adversity. Adversity and growth are synonyms. They're the very same thing.
Faiz, I want to pick up on that point because when we watched your performance from outside, I think the feeling in the room was that this is a mature Faiz Jacobs, right? Someone who's growing, as you said. Do you think that performance, which felt like you were really picking your shots and not, I suppose, being the old troublemaker that we're used to, was that because of the way you had planned to fight, or was that more so got to do with the fact that, as you said, you had some injuries and some adversities before this fight?
So I've become very clinical. I've become very strategic, and I had 5 rounds in which to break him, and I was gonna pour it on slowly but surely. And the more mixed martial arts I can effectively put out there, the better the fight's gonna be. When I watch back, I want to be blown away by my performance. I can't wait to watch this fight. I know certain things that happened, but who would have predicted that this fight would have ended with a triangle choke?
Faiz, on your torso you had wrote, "Dreams do come true." Is this a dreams coming true now for you, achieving the Bantamweight Championship of the EFC?
Absolutely, this is a dream come true. You know, and I just want to speak to the man, the civilian that's living his life. Like, life is not perfect for me. I'm by no means are things easy. I still live in a separate entrance with my fiance. I still drive a 2008 car. I still work hard for what I have. I'm still working a job to try and do this. Effectively, I did open a business, which is Troublemakers Mixed Martial Arts, where I'm now bringing in the next generation. I'm sharing my knowledge, and it's a big passion to me, and I get to do what I love. And I honestly believe it's leveled up my game. And I'm continuing to put in work, and I will make no excuses. I'm happy to do this. I want to be here, and I will sacrifice whatever it takes. That's what makes dreams come true. Even though dreams come true, you have to work hard for it. God first and hard work. Believe in yourself. Thanks, champ. Thank you, guys. One more time.
Big round of applause to the new bantamweight champion of the world. Well done, brother. You deserve it. Incredible. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us at EFC 117 post-event press conference. Join us here October 10th for EFC 118, where we see Martin van Staden come back in massive fashion against Henry Botha for the #1 lightweight contender spot. We're going to be putting an interim featherweight title fight on that, so watch that space.
EFC 118.
Oh my goodness, this is the pinnacle of African MMA. What a night of epic action.
10th October, live from the World Sports Betting Arena.